Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crit D&D. We're back in the Voyager's Guide to Ravion document. We're going to do another god today. This time, we're going to cover the Jester. We just finished covering the Dawn Father, so it'll be kind of a weird change of pace. So, the Jester is basically just this god of mischief and trouble, and while he's a good aligned deity, he does enjoy causing a little bit of problems. Think Puck from the Midsummer Night's Dream, from Shakespearean kind of lore and everything that way, all those great plays. So we'll summarize it after we go through this details page. But the Jester is a good deity of joy and mischief. Though a good aligned god, the Jester's antics tend to cause trouble, and sometimes serious trouble on a larger scale than intended. The Jester's focus is mainly on joy and laughter. He is in some ways a performer, but also an imp. The general attitude of the world towards the Jester is less so of an organized, dedicated following, rather than this loose association of random followers that align with this god's ideals. Often appearing as a young human child with tousled red hair, dressed in this ragged set of clothes, with this facsimile of royalty to them, the Jester was said to have wandered the world inspiring people and bringing them joy in darker times of their lives. At the same time, on those journeys, the Jester's antics have inadvertently caused political strife in the form of wars and broken alliances, where the Jester does not explicitly walk the world now. So, while the Jester does not explicitly walk the world now, his presence is felt is felt all the same through the actions of his followers. The Jester's followers, while not closely organized as a group, work together across the globe to cause mischief in the face of pain and sadness in the hopes of lightening the burden faced by their fellow man. The Jester's followers, however, are also encouraged to develop themselves and benefit from the mirth that they hope to spread over time. The main difference of the Jester's mischief to the other gods of trickery and mischief is that the Jester's goals are almost always pure in intent, and while many times his influence does cause problems, no matter what the outcome, the intention was to support people and bring them joy. The tenets of the Jester are simple, but even still vague. Be the laughter people need in their darkest moments. Often people need to laugh instead of to cry. And when the whole world is in pain, the best treatment is the balm of is the balm that a smile provides. So, to break it down, with all the different gods that have kind of a mischief domain to them, or trickery domain, the Jester is a little bit more unique because his whole goal, and that's where this stems from as a difference, the Jester's goal is good. His intent is pure. His intent is to support and take care of people. That, however, doesn't mean that everything goes well, right? So ultimately, you can remove a rock that holds a unfortunate man's cabbage cart and let it go rocketing down the hill with him chasing after it. And while many of these village children will laugh and enjoy themselves watching this guy go chasing after all of his stuff, he didn't exactly enjoy that, right? He suffered from that. So there is always a little bit more of a tunnel vision to the Jester as a god. His focus is to take care of people, but doesn't always consider the other ramifications of his actions. He's just happy to bring a small bit of joy on even a small level in some way, which is not necessarily all that thought out. So, the people that follow the Jester aren't a good associated group. All that means is that there are people across the world that, no matter what, enjoy playing pranks and causing mischief, that are doing it to support other people, that do it to make someone feel good. Picture if it's the easiest way. A family starving in the dead of winter, and as a joke, a single father starving just puts on a sort of a play or some sort of a prank, or otherwise plays jokes uh, for the benefit of his young daughter. They have to laugh as opposed to cry, because the world will crush them if they don't. That man aligns with the Jester's philosophy. That man could be considered a follower of the Jester, whether or not he is like aware of it. The Jester, however, does have not organized followers, but more devout followers. Ones that devote themselves to these sorts of jokes and benefits for the rest of the world. Picture, in this sense, traveling bard that just is a stand-up comedian, one that potentially does physical humor and takes a beating for the benefit of the audience, or one that makes fun of the audience every now and then. Those are all fair followers of the Jester. They may or may not be aware that they are following specifically this god, but he does impact their lives and still afford them some power. He isn't necessarily as involved as a god. He's a little bit more focused on being the prankster. But being relegated to the outer planes, he has to rely on followers to make his presence felt in the world. So the closest followers that he has are the ones that recognize his goal and make it their own. The ones that recognize that the Jester is locked away, so someone has to be this impish figure of Puck, the troublemaker. They take that upon themselves, and he'll watch from the outer planes, pointing and laughing and enjoying the jokes all along with the rest of his followers. That's kind of it for the Jester. He is a fairly on sideline kind of god, where he isn't nearly as involved. He'll respond, kind of like that one friend that we all know, right? That will only really respond when you call them. But that's about it. When you need him, he's there. He is always there when you need him, but he's not going to get involved otherwise. So, that being said, I want to thank you all at this point for staying tuned and going through another world building episode of the Ocrit D&D channel for this Ravion campaign. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get more notifications of when we post our next few videos, and leave a comment for what you think for the different ciphers, and tell me your feedback on the various gods and goddesses and the rest of the world of Ravion. Otherwise, thank you all for coming and tuning in so far. Remember, it doesn't take much to make a difference out there, so be the difference that you want to see out there in the real world. Thank you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.